Alrighty, so it's January 24th, the dust has settled, and I've gone through my second Q4 as an Amazon seller. I've had time to reflect, I've had time to look back, and I came up with a list of the 6 biggest takeaways I have pertaining to Q4 as an Amazon seller. I'm Jonathan, this is Duke Does Amazon, my Amazon selling channel. I've been selling for almost 2 years now. My first Q4, I was pretty brand new, but this year I've had a lot of experience under my belt, and so I really got to feel the effects of it and have a true opinion on it, and that's what I'm here to do, share my biggest takeaways. So let's get started. All right, number 1, Q4 is real. You know, you hear so much about it, and sometimes it's hard to buy into the hype, but I'm here to tell you it's real, and I'm gonna give you some numbers. I did about $289,000 total in sales in 2021, okay? That averages to about $24,000 a month in sales. In December alone, I did almost $35,000 in sales, and I would say that I did not put that much more time and effort into sourcing goods. It just means that things were flying off the shelf because there were so many more buyers in a compact amount of time. So I definitely agree that Q4 is a real thing. All right, number 2 takeaway is the actual date range of Q4. Now, yes, Q4 is going to be the busiest and most high volume sales of any quarter of a year, but the real dates that I felt the effects of the sales of Q4 were Black Friday to about January 10th. And when you think about it, Black Friday is, you know, that's always the start of starting to purchase things and discounts for the holiday season. And then why it goes into January? I think because people have gift cards and returns and exchanges and things like that, right? It's not that October isn't important or early November isn't important. I think that's a great time to ramp up your inventory. But as far as when the sales happen, that's what I've experienced. And frankly, again, today's January 24th, the last 2 weeks I've had really dismal sales relative to the rest of the year, which kind of makes sense to me. So that's kind of what I've taken away from the date range. Even though people always group it to Q4, it's really about 7 weeks between Black Friday and early January. Number 3, not all seasonal items are the same. So what I mean by that, let's just say that there's a grocery seasonal item that's peppermint coffee, right? And let's say there's another seasonal item that is a toy, okay? A seasonal grocery item, yes, it might be more in demand by a holiday, but if people like peppermint coffee and it's available, it's certainly going to sell well beyond the holiday itself. Contrarily, a toy that is meant to be purchased and given out on Christmas, yes, it'll have some sales because toys don't just stop selling after Christmas, but the overwhelming greater majority has to be ordered by like December 20th if you're doing prime shipping, right? So my point is this, if you're a seller, just because it's seasonal doesn't mean you have to offload it by December 20th. Like again, peppermint coffee, you don't have to tank your price to get rid of it. It will still sell after the holiday, whereas in a toy, you really want to get rid of it before Christmas, right? And that's what I mean by not all seasonal items are created the same. Number 4, on a seasonal item, you want to be the first to market or the last to market to maximize your profits. This is really just a supply and demand thing, but I'm going to kind of explain it. Once again, using peppermint coffee as an example, let's say that the manufacturer puts it into the masses and it hits retailers November 15th, okay? And you're there on November 15th. And let's say this is a really good selling product when it's in stock on Amazon. Well, if you're first to market, let's say you can sell this coffee for $29.99 because there's high demand and there's low supply. So you can command a really good price. But by next week, the demand is still high, but the supply is going to be high because people all over the country are also going to have this inventory now in stock. So you have your pop at first, then the price subsides for a couple weeks until the inventory now goes down, so meaning the supply goes down again, and if the demand is still there, you can catch the high profit on the tail end. So if you're first to market or last to market, as long as there's still high demand or the same demand, you can typically make your maximum profits. Now, between those two peaks, it's a really good item if you're still happy with the profit then. So anyway, basically my point is this: supply and demand. If it's a high demand item throughout an entire season, being first and being last is always going to be when you can make the most profit. Number 5, using your repricer more frequently. For anybody that isn't familiar with a repricer, basically you can set a minimum price and a maximum price, and this software adjusts your pricing for you on Amazon so that you can be eligible and competitive to win the buy box. Okay? So what I really noticed was that I had to check my repricer much more frequently for seasonal items. Here's just a random example. Let's say I was selling turkey gravy for $10 and a nice healthy profit. Let's say that Thanksgiving is on November 25th, okay? By November 15th, odds are that people are going to start decreasing their price because they know this is a high demand item for Thanksgiving. And if somebody can't get it by Thanksgiving or a couple of days before, the amount of sales after Thanksgiving aren't going to be nearly as drastic as they are the week or two leading up to Thanksgiving, which makes sense when you think about it. But in Q4, you have Halloween, you have Thanksgiving, you have Hanukkah, you have Christmas. A lot of seasonal and Q4 items, their value comes because they're used for those particular holidays, okay? So unlike just a generic item that sells well all year round, that you can set the price low and high on your repricer and kind of set it for every couple months and go check on it, I was checking weekly because you have to check to see what other sellers are doing. Now, using turkey gravy as an example, will turkey gravy sell after Thanksgiving? Of course. But the amount and the rapid pace at which it sells leading up to Thanksgiving, the week or two prior, is drastic. So if you do want to catch that wave of sales, you have to make sure that you're keeping up with the pricing, and that's why you're going to want to check your repricer more and more and more during Q4, because there are so many different holidays and items that are specific to those holidays. So that's really it, guys. That's all I got for you. Those are the 6 biggest takeaways that I can think of pertaining to Q4. Knowing what I know now, I am going to really ramp things up in 2022 and really try to increase my Q4 sales drastically, because now I've done my experimenting, I've done my testing, and I can see the proof is in the pudding. So I hope you guys got some value out of this. If you have any questions, put them below. Other than that, I'm on Instagram at Duke Does Amazon for short form videos. Have a great day. See you guys soon. Take care.